name's Angelina Magro, and I'm with the Native Communities team at the Center for Rural Affairs. Today, we're going to be doing a fire cider recipe that you can do at home. This is all of our ingredients. We're starting with some apple cider vinegar, some fresh garlic. We chose the already peeled because you're going to have to peel all of the garlic. This is a little bit easier, but a regular head of garlic's fine. Also with horseradish, we got the prepared horseradish because it's hard to find a whole horseradish root here in our area. Some peppercorns, we got some spices, some ground turmeric, and some ground cinnamon. The turmeric can also be in a root, but this is a little bit easier for us to find in our area. We also have some cayenne pepper and some raw honey. We're going to be using our fresh ingredients too. We have one red onion, a whole orange, a whole lemon. We're going to grate up some fresh ginger root, 2 to 3 jalapenos, and we have some fresh rosemary and thyme. Next, these are going to be some of the kitchen tools we're going to be using. You can use a full-size blender. Here we're going to be using our Magic Bullet. You'll need a quart-size jar, some gallon plastic bags. You can also use saran wrap if you have it. This is just what we have available. Your knife, your cutting board, grating, because we're going to need to grate our ginger, some cheesecloth to strain everything, and then our measuring tools. Next, we're going to prepare our fresh ingredients. So we want to slice up all of our fruits and grate up our roots. We're going to slice up the oranges. We're going to use the whole orange and the whole lemon. Make sure to take the seeds out of your jalapenos. My cord. Now, if you are sensitive to the capsaicin in the jalapenos, I would recommend wearing gloves. It doesn't really bother me that much, so I don't use them. But if your skin is sensitive, a lot of times it can burn you if you're touching it for too long. But always make sure, if you're not going to wear gloves, to wash your hands when you're done, just in case you rub your eyes or your nose or anything else that you don't want to burn. And also, if you are more tolerant to spice, you can add more spice to this if you want to. It will help with congestion if you are really stuffy. It can help to get some of the congestion out of your nose. You know that hot things do make our eyes and our nose run, so this will help with loosening up any congestion that you have. Okay, now these are cleaned out. You can slice them lengthwise. They don't have to be perfect. We're just going to stuff them into a jar. All right, now we're going to prepare our ginger root. So we're going to start by peeling this. Okay. Now that we got all that grated, we can chop up our onions. All right, now we're going to prep our onion and our garlic. Save the smelly ones for last. And according to our recipe, the stuff does need to be finely chopped, so we are going to finely chop up our jalapenos too. Okay, we're going to peel our onion. I believe we need half of an onion for this recipe. Can save your skins if you do natural dyeing, or if you are a hoarder like me, and save all your scraps to make vegetable broth. Okay, put our onions over here. Okay, now we're going to chop up our garlic. We have 8 cloves of garlic here. Okay, I'm gonna make these a little bit smaller. Okay, add this to our ingredients. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and chop up these jalapenos a little bit more. Okay, so the last of our fresh ingredients that we have, we're gonna need 2 sprigs of rosemary. So we got fresh rosemary, you can also use dried, and then 3 sprigs of thyme. Okay, got thyme, we got our rosemary. And like I had mentioned before, the recipe does call for a fresh horseradish root, but we don't have it. So we do have one that's already been prepared, so it is still wet, but we can still measure it the same. You can use 1 whole cinnamon stick. If you have whole cinnamon sticks, we're gonna be using ground cinnamon. We're gonna use 1 tablespoon instead of 1 whole cinnamon stick. And for our turmeric, instead of using fresh turmeric root, we're gonna use ground as well, and 1 tablespoon of that also. Okay, now we're gonna layer our jar. We have all of our chopped ingredients. We wanna put all of our chopped ingredients in first. So we're gonna start with our ginger at the bottom and garlic. And then we'll go with our onions. Now they don't have to be in any specific order, but we do want to have our citrus on the top because it's a little bit heavier, so it's going to hold all of our ingredients in. Okay. Next, we're going to put our fresh herbs in here. I'm going to break these up a little bit or bend them so they'll fit in the jar better because they are whole sprigs. All right, we're going to use our whole lemon. And we're going to use half of an orange. Okay. I'm just going to squish all this in there, and I'm going to add our dry ingredients. So we're using our tablespoon of turmeric. And 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. And we'll do half of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And another half of a teaspoon of whole peppercorns. And our horseradish root. And this we do need half a cup. Okay, now we're going to make all of this stuff fit in here. I'm going to push it down on the sides because it's a lot of stuff trying to squeeze into this jar. Okay, so we have a little bit of headspace on here. Okay, so our last step for now is we're going to add our organic apple cider vinegar. And I would do this slowly, especially if your jar is as packed as this one is. I'm going to use my little spatula to make some room in here. There we go. Okay, and while you're doing this, you can tap it on the table to get some of the air bubbles out. It'll help to distribute some of the liquid that we're adding. That way your liquid is evenly covering all of your ingredients. Okay, I think I got as much vinegar in there as we can fit. We're going to tap this on the table a little bit, and then we're going to put our plastic over the top. Now we're doing this because the metal lid on our mason jar can affect the fermentation process and the flavor, and it's not going to be right. So we're going to use the Ziploc bag. Now you can use saran wrap if you want to, and this is going to keep the metal lid from touching any of the vinegar. I'm going to do this as tight as we can because we're going to try to put this upside down and mix it around and make sure we got all of our liquid, as much liquid as we can in there. I'll tap this some more. Yeah, so you can see we have a little bit of air, so we can still take this off. I can add a little bit more vinegar. We can push these down some more, and that can get some of the water out. And when you push it out, you'll notice there's air bubbles coming out. And it seems really full now, but when we put this away to ferment, you'll notice that your vegetables are going to shrink down a lot. Okay, so since we're going to have this guy in a cool, dry place for 2 to 3 weeks, there is some maintenance that we have to do for our jar because this is fermenting. It's going to create a lot of gas in here, so we're going to have to open this every day and just let it breathe. You don't have to take everything apart, but just even loosening up the lid and let some of that gas out so it doesn't blow up. And then we're going to put it back on and just turn it. Give it a couple turns. Like I said, your vegetables are going to get smaller, so there's going to be more liquid. But just do that. Give it a little shake and then put it back in its cool, dry place. Okay, so it has been 3 weeks to a month. And we've had our fire cider sitting and fermenting. in a cool, dry place. We did shake it up every once in a while. We took the lid off a few times to get release some pressure. Everything's pretty squishy in here. I don't know how else to explain it, but we are going to strain it out with our cheesecloth into this pitcher here. Now some of this stuff might come out in chunks, but that's what our cheesecloth is for. Now I'm going to take the oranges out because if you remember, we did put our oranges on the top. I feel like if we take these out, everything else will come out a lot easier. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this. Thank you. Now you can squeeze this all out by hand, or if you have a larger container to put your cheesecloth over, you can let it sit and strain out by itself naturally. But for the sake of demonstration, we're going to do it and show you how to get all of the liquid out. Now this is a little bit messy. You can wear gloves if you want to because we did use turmeric in here. It can stain your skin. Okay, we got everything squeezed out. We're going to transfer our liquid into a clean jar. This is going to so you can store it. You can see how much liquid came out. Not exactly what we put into the jar, but this is what you're going to use, and you can take a small swig of this, a drink. They'd say you can take a shot of it like a wheatgrass shot, but it's a fire cider shot. So yeah, just a small glass. You can mix it with water if you want to. I prefer just to take it, just the shot. The vinegar to me doesn't taste good when you mix it with water. It's just easier it's more palatable to just do it quick. But enjoy your fire cider. It's a healthy way to get over your cold or flu and help decrease your symptoms and help you with your inflammation in your lungs and help with your breathing and sinuses as well.